Welcome to Charity.Joye.Yoga. My name is Charity. It's nice to be with you. Namaste. So I wanted to share with you a couple of points that came up in a workshop that I was leading today regarding a very common and popular pose in the Vinyasa style of yoga known as Chaturunga Dandasana. We usually just call them Chaturangas, particularly as they relate to the arms. And we had a lot of good points come up, and so I thought I would just share a couple of things with you today. So to give you an idea, first of all, if Chaturanga is new to you or if yoga is new to you, what we're talking about is a pose that comes up in the Vinyasa sequence from plank, and then we lower. That's what we call the Chaturanga, and then that transitions us into a cobra or up dog and then into a downward dog. So just to give you a demonstration of what we're talking about, we usually will come to a plank with either knees up or down, and then from here we lower to the floor or towards the floor. This would be the Chaturanga, and then from there we move into either cobra or up dog depending on which pose you choose, and then tucking the toes and coming into downward facing dog. So particularly what we're talking about here is this Chaturanga posture, this pose right here, and again it can be done with knees up or down. This is a really challenging posture for a number of reasons, not the least of which is strength related, but also alignment related. So very typical to see in this pose, generally speaking, something kind of like this, where the elbows are bending out to the side, the neck is starting to cave, and then we have nowhere to go, and the strength is giving out on us, and then we end up flopping to the floor. And of course this is problematic for a number of reasons because number one, you're not getting the strength benefit, and also it puts a lot of compression, a lot of stress on your wrists, on your shoulders in particular, and also into your cervical spine when we get really crunched up like that. So I just wanted to share with you a couple of alignment points to help you if you're working on either expanding and tweaking your Chaturanga, or if Chaturanga is new for you or you feel like you struggle with it a little bit. I want to give you a few pointers that might be able to help you out. So first I'm going to ask you to come to tabletop posture. Tabletop posture aligns the wrists directly underneath the shoulders and the knees directly underneath the hips. I want you to spread the fingers out nice and wide also so that your full palm is making contact with the floor. Now this is where we often go awry, either with a tabletop or other tabletop-based postures or planks, or then of course Chaturanga. And that is that the shoulders, we tend to hike up towards the ears, or we cave in the shoulder blades and we get all this compression up around the neck. So what I would like you to do is press down into your hands so that you fill the space between the shoulder blades. Again, just to show you that again, it's a very minute difference, but you can really see it. When you press into the hands and fill that space in the shoulder blades, it makes all the difference in giving your neck a lot of room. Also, notice again, if the shoulders are coming up towards the ears, you want to pull them back from the ears. Just to show you that again. Pull the shoulders back from the ears and lift your belly button away from the floor so that there's no sagging in the belly, but the belly is lifted. Now from here, I want you to check in with your elbows, particularly the inner elbows. We have the outer elbow and then the inner elbow. Now as you come into this plank posture, I want you to notice that you can rotate from your shoulder joint to turn those inner elbows either in or turn them out. So notice how you can do that. This makes a huge difference when we start to move into planks and Chaturangas. So what I would like you to do is turn the inner elbow so that it's facing out at about 45 degrees, okay? So essentially if you were to draw a line from this inner elbow and on both sides, it would make like an X in front of you. You could also think about facing the inner elbow to the space between your index finger and your thumb. That can help as well. A student of mine pointed that out today, and I thought it was a really good way to think about it. Now from here, with the inner elbows facing slightly forward out to 45 degrees. Now from here, I want you to bend the elbows backward. Take a little dip so that the elbows, again, don't bend out to the side. Notice what happens when you turn the inner elbow in. Now the elbows have no choice but to bend out. And that's where we get a lot of problems. We get all that compression up in the neck. You can probably see how uncomfortable that is. So again, grounding the hands, turn the inner elbow slightly out, bend into the elbows just a tiny bit, and then press back. Notice the elbows are hugging into my body, not going out to the side, but they're actually pointing back towards my hips. That's the movement of Chaturanga. Those inner elbows stay facing forward. So do that a couple of times to train that movement. Notice also that my shoulders aren't coming up to my ears. Instead, my neck and head grow long and tall. And what that means is that my arms are doing the work. So I'm not putting any of the stress up in here. I'm actually doing the work with bicep, tricep. Okay? So just a couple more times. Don't let those elbows come out to the side. You should actually feel the arm touching a little bit along the side of the ribs. Okay? So a couple of times to train that movement. All right? Good. Now from here, we're going to take this into knee down plank. So that means walk your hands nice and far forward. Shoulders stack over the wrists, and the knees should be well behind the hips. All right? So this is tabletop, and this is plank. If it helps, go into a full plank first, and then release your knees to the floor. Lift your belly up and away from the floor. Press down in your hands. Again, if you notice that little sag in the shoulders, press into the hands to lift. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Elbows facing out. Inner elbows facing slightly forward. Take one deep breath in. Exhale, bend the elbows backward, and then press up. Good, do that again. Bend the elbows, little dip, and press. Good, little dip, and press. Try again. Little dip, and then press. Can't stress enough. Super important that the outer elbows don't bend out to the side. So just work with that, and then if that feels fairly strong and uncompressed in the neck, then move into the full plank. All right, so full plank, again, grounding the hands. Make sure your full palm is on the floor. That means particularly this knuckle underneath your index finger, you want that firmly placed down. Good, so coming into your plank, notice that your hips should not be up or sagging down, but everything should be in one straight line. Notice your shoulders. If they're hiking up towards the ears, draw them back a little bit. Lift your belly button up. Good, and turn your inner elbows to face out at 45 degrees. Looking at the floor in front of you, take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend the elbows backward. And then maybe inhale, cross back. That's pretty strong. Try that again. Exhale. And then inhale. One more exhale. And inhale. Good. So that'll get your arms a little bit tired pretty quickly. But hopefully that gives you a little bit of a better sense. I want to just show you that from the front one time here. So again, inner elbows turning forward. You could think of this also from the tricep. When the inner elbow faces out at 45 degrees, the tricep turns and faces backward. So you can think of that from either perspective. So seeing that from the front, the neck grows long, shoulders back, deep breath in, exhale, bend elbows backward, inhale, press up. Exhale, and then inhale. Good, so hopefully you can see that fairly clearly. A lot of times with Chaturanga, we often recommend don't go past 90 degrees. You don't want to let the shoulders dip down because that can put too much stress there. Just lower to the level that the elbows come to 90 degrees, no more than that, and then you'll be able to follow into the rest of your vinyasa. So one more time, show you that. Do this along with me if you like. Knees up or down for the Chaturanga, shoulders back, belly lifted, core is nice and engaged, deep breath in. Exhale, Chaturanga. Go ahead and let the belly come to the floor. Inhale for Cobra, and then maybe come back for Child's Pose. Stretch back, release your wrists. And there you are, a little tutorial for Chaturanga today. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, namaste.